What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that I think most people in corporate America know is true, but almost nobody says it out loud, and what it made me realize about the system we're living inside. So let's get into it. So I'm sitting at my cubicle, the same cubicle I've been sitting at for 9 months, and next to me is this guy, at least 55 years old, overweight, walks with a limp, gets fast food every single day for lunch without fail. And I've asked him probably a dozen times, how has he survived working in corporate America this long? And he always gives me the same answer with a straight face. Coming here gets me away from my wife. And I just laugh every time because he's genuinely one of the funniest people I've met at this job. But today was a little bit different. Today I watched him open his desk drawer and dig through a plastic bag. And this bag, I'm not exaggerating, was full of empty pill bottles. Just a collection of empty prescription bottles rattling around in a Ziploc bag. Now, normally I wouldn't say anything, because obviously I want to respect his private life, his privacy, and his health issues that he might have. But I've been sitting next to this man every day for 9 months, and he probably knows more about me than most of my ex-girlfriends. So I straight up just asked him, "Yo, Unc, what are you popping over there?" And he looks at me, pulls out a full bottle, holds it up and goes, "These are how you stay sane in marriage." And again, I laugh, and then I ask, "But what are they?" And he tells me, "Antidepressants." And he said he's been taking the antidepressants for almost 5 years. And I'm like, dang. And then he shows me another pill bottle and it's something for his heart, or he has high blood pressure. And I'm like, well, yeah, brother, you're eating fast food every day. What do you expect? I didn't say that. But then later that same afternoon, I overhear somebody in the office, a younger guy, he's probably about the same age as me, maybe a little bit older. And he's telling someone that his doctor just put him on ADHD medication. And that's why he's not really hungry and not going to eat lunch today. And the person he's talking to goes, "Oh yeah, I've been on those for 2 years. They're life-saving." And I sat back in my chair and I'm like, holy shit. This is how people do it. They're literally being fed these medications, these pills. Everybody in corporate America is on pills. And big pharma is eating them alive because they're turning into literal computers, human robots that can sit at their desk for 8 hours a day and just work like machines. And I'm like, holy shit, bro, this is not what humans are made for. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. And then later down the road, big pharma is still going to be winning, because even if you take these medications now, it's just going to lead and progress into some other health effect that you're going to need more pills for. And it's just a domino effect. And I don't think people really realize that, but working in a hospital and being a health science major, like, I learned this stuff, and it's like the average American doesn't realize it. And we're getting screwed every single day by it. And the system's rigged. Like, it's completely rigged against any normal American. But yet everybody still does it, and they just go about their lives. Because what can we really do? I mean, we can speak about it, but even then, like, nobody's going to do anything, so it's just going to continue. Because corporate America needs compliant, productive, emotionally regulated employees who will show up consistently for decades without burning out or breaking down. And human beings in their natural state are not built for that. People get depressed, people get anxious, lose focus, burn out, and then people start asking questions like, what's the point of all this? And those questions are dangerous to the system. And that's not to say that people don't actually need these medications. Maybe some definitely do, but I'm not making a blanket statement about pharmaceutical treatment. Mental health is real and medication is a legitimate tool, but there's a version of this story that is less about individual mental health and more about the system that produces specific symptoms in people and then profits from treating those symptoms while never questioning whether the system producing them is the actual problem. And it's a win-win for big pharma and corporate America, because the system just gets productive employees and the pharmaceutical companies gets a long-term customer. But the human being in the middle gets a drawer full of empty pill bottles and jokes about his wife. But the younger guy, the one a little older than me, that's newly medicated, he's already framing the side effects as benefits. 2 conversations deep into normalizing pharmaceutical management of a work environment that he's barely been in long enough to know if it's an actual problem. Because here's what I know about being in your mid to late 20s in corporate America. The first few years are the hardest, not because the work is difficult, but because of the adjustment from the freedom and variety of early adulthood into the specific repetitive structure of office life. And it's genuinely taxing on your brain. And your brain isn't broken because it's resistant sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours a day. Your brain is doing exactly what a human brain is supposed to when placed in an environment that is not designed for it. But I think the question that doesn't get asked enough is, what are you going to do with that signal that you get? Most people just jump straight to medication that allows you to suppress the signal and continue functioning within the environment that produced it. And another option is treating the signal as information, as your nervous system telling you something about the misalignment between how you are spending your time and what your life is actually built for. I'm not saying medication is always wrong. I'm saying that jumping to the pharmaceutical solution before asking whether the environment itself is the problem Now, I'm 26. I'm still early enough that the choices I make right now are the ones to determine whether I end up with options at 55 or whether I end up with a drawer full of open pill bottles. And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to be financially free. And what that actually means to me is not a yacht, not a penthouse, just never having to open a drawer. I want to be financially free and healthy. I feel like now is like the worst time to be getting into corporate America or just any job in general. Like, we really got put into the worst time in history. Most of us don't have kids that we could just call out and be like, oh, my kid's got to go to school, so I got to pick them up, or, you know, all that bullshit that everybody tells you. All these old cats can do whatever they want. And while we're stuck here slaving away because I don't have kids or I don't got to pick anybody up or do anything for anybody, I just have me and my life to worry about. And I start to wonder, like, is that why people have kids? To get out of work, get their parental leave, and keep having kids? Because I swear most of these guys that I work with are not there half the time. They're always calling in, or they have PTO that somehow they still have. I'm like, bro, what? While I'm over here, I took probably like 3 or 4 days and I'm already maxed out on my PTO. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.